Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we will cover a major global event that's making waves around the world. Donald Trump's re-election as President of the United States. This victory is shaking up global dynamics, and I'm here to unpack what this means for us here in Singapore. So let's start by discussing what a second term for Donald Trump means. His campaign this time around focused heavily on restoring what he calls the America First agenda, with promises to make bold moves on issues such as trade, immigration, and even alliances. Trump's re-election signals his continued focus on reshaping the US's global role, which naturally has implications not only for Americans, but also for allies and trade partners worldwide, including Singapore. Now let's zero in on what this means for Singapore. As a small but highly globalized economy, Singapore has built strong relations with the United States across various sectors. One area where Trump's approach could impact us directly is trade. His America First approach has historically emphasized renegotiating trade terms to prioritize US interests. During his campaign, Trump even hinted at further scrutinizing bilateral trade deals. This could affect Singapore, given that the United States is one of our largest trade partners. We know that the United States accounted for billions in Singapore's trade last year. If Trump were to push for more favorable terms for the US, this could affect tariffs, regulations, and even supply chain dynamics. For local businesses, this would mean keeping an eye on any new trade terms that could impact costs and operations. Now let's discuss specific agreements between Singapore and the US that could come under scrutiny. One of the key agreements is the US-Singapore Free Trade Agreement, which has facilitated smoother trade, intellectual property protections, and eased restrictions on investments and services. Donald Trump's new administration may revisit these terms to secure what it sees as better outcomes for the US economy. Any renegotiations in this area could result in amendments that might either increase trade barriers or impose new regulatory requirements. If Singapore companies face increased tariffs or additional compliance costs, this could impact import and export dynamics, especially for high-value goods such as electronics and pharmaceuticals. Another area that could be impacted is defense and security. Singapore and the United States have collaborated closely in defense, with the US using Singapore's strategic location for military operations. Donald Trump's America First doctrine may shift defense priorities in the Asia-Pacific, potentially affecting how the US engages in regional security. One particularly contentious issue during Trump's campaign was his stance on China. He emphasized intensifying the US stance against China, which could place Singapore in a sensitive position. As a nation that values neutrality, Singapore has managed to balance relations with both China and the US. An aggressive US and China rivalry may pressure Singapore to navigate more carefully, potentially influencing how we engage with both superpowers. So what does this mean for us here in Singapore? First, it underscores the importance of maintaining our diversified trade relationships. Singapore's resilience often lies in its adaptability and strong diplomatic relations across nations. However, given Donald Trump's unpredictability and assertive policies, we may have to prepare for more diplomatic agility than ever. Whether in trade, defense, or foreign policy, Singapore will need to respond strategically, balancing its interests amid the possible US-China tug-of-war. In the end, Donald Trump's re-election could challenge Singapore to further strengthen its alliances, adapt to new trade realities, and to keep a steady hand in regional diplomacy. As always, I'll keep a close eye on such developments and break them down for you as they unfold. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.